Hi, I'm Laura Provos with Vinopal Title and Abstract here in Eau Claire, and I'm here to talk about title insurance exceptions and unclosable deals. In order for any property to sell, we need to know its story or its history. Every home has a story of its own. A title company's job is to research the history on the property at the courthouse and to summarize it in the form of a commitment of title insurance. The commitment will be typed and sent out to all parties involved before your loan closing. The title insurance commitment will tell us all the important details of an individual property. Then a policy of title insurance will be issued after the closing. The policy shows that the new buyer now owns the property. Title insurance commitments, how to read them. Schedule A is your first page of your title insurance commitment. It shows the date through which the search of the public records is good or valid through. It also shows who the buyer and seller are and which lender the buyer is using to purchase the home. It shows the purchase price and the loan amount for the buyer. It also shows the legal description, address, and tax parcel number which describes the property. The next page of your title insurance commitment is Schedule B1, Requirements to be met. This page shows any special requirements that need to be met. Examples could be a limited liability company or a corporation may own the property, and the paperwork needs to be provided for review to make sure the proper parties are signing documents. Another example would be a deed from another party or person needs to be obtained, or satisfactions of any liens that need to be obtained, and any other documents that are needed to pass clear title to buyer from the seller. The next page of your title insurance commitment is Schedule B2, Exceptions to Coverage. This page lists any issues with the property that will not be covered by the title insurance policy. It shows such items as liens, mortgages, easements, restrictions, protective covenants, delinquent taxes, and/or judgments. Many of these items listed will be paid off, cleared, or satisfied on the property prior to closing in order to pass clear title to the new buyer. Now, what are examples of problems that make property sales unclosable? One example could be all people who have an interest in the property have not signed a warranty deed or quitclaim deed as to their interest. So, documents not at the title company, unclosable. Solution, you will need an original recordable deed from all parties involved in selling prior to the actual closing. It needs to be held, the documents at the title company closing the transaction before the closing. Another example, loan approval is not given to the buyer or the loan falls through. Loan not approved, unclosable. Solution, pre-approval or meeting with lender well in advance of purchasing your home. Another example, buyer does not bring in enough funds to closing and are not in the proper format. Funds by buyer not brought in, unclosable. Solution, the title company should get the amount of money that the buyer has to bring into closing as soon as possible so that the buyer has time to obtain a cashier's check made payable to the title company that's closing the transaction. Another example, person of interest can't be located in time for a closing. Perhaps there was a probate on the property and interests were divided between all the children who've now scattered all over the country. Can't find a seller? Unclosable. Your solution, footwork by realtors and title company can help track down parties who have an interest in the property well before closing date and time in order to collect signatures on all original documents. Documents can be back at the title company's hands well before closing. Another example, property is in bankruptcy, pending divorce, short sale, or bank-owned property, and any other unusual situation. Issues not addressed, unclosable. Solution, Commitment must be followed, and all parties and circumstances must be addressed and recorded in order to pass clear title to buyer. Remember, your title insurance commitment is your checklist to success in perfecting title to a new home.